If Terry Rozier is found guilty, if Chauncey Billups is found guilty, if Damon Jones is found guilty, they need to be completely taken out of all NBA operations. Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. He needs to be taken out of the Hall of Fame, because when you undermine the integrity of the game, that is not becoming of somebody who is in the NBA Hall of Fame. The NBA in the 90s had Jordan. Then in the NBA in the 2000s, they had LeBron James. From 2023 on, that is the Victor Wembanyama era. You moved on from a quarterback who showed you that he could play at a high level. Last season, he had over 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and led your team to a 14-3 season. Hello guys, welcome to CEO Sports Show. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the NBA and the gambling saga that is going on right now, everything going on with the FBI investigation into the league. I want to talk about Victor Wembanyama and why the NBA might have their next one. And I also want to talk about the Vikings moving on from Sam Darnold. I know that's an old story, but I just want to talk about how stupid of an idea that was and why they are seeing the consequences of that right now. Before we get into the episode, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure to go check out the rest of the Kretschman media shows as well. They are on the homepage of the CEO Sports Show. I greatly appreciate them. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. So I want to start off this episode by talking about the gambling probe from the FBI on the NBA. Multiple people arrested. Chauncey Billups arrested. Damon Jones arrested. And same thing with Terry Rozier. He was arrested as well. So this is the write-up from Fox News. Ryan Mork and Ryan Gatiss, the Ryan and Ryan duo there. NBA legend Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, arrested as part of FBI gambling probe. Federal officials detailed their investigation at a news conference in New York. Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA guard and coach Damon Jones were among the more than 24 arrested as a part of a widespread FBI investigation on Thursday, officials said on Thursday. The federal investigation involved multiple agencies and the NYPD as they targeted the La Cosa Nostra crime families in two separate operations across several states. Officials said Billups, Rozier, and Jones faced charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Quote, day in and day out, the FBI is following the money, and today is the result of that outstanding work, FBI Director Kash Patel told Fox News Digital in an exclusive statement. This operation involved an expansive effort across 11 states, arresting 34 subjects, including multiple NBA players and coaches who allegedly took advantage of their own positions of power to rig gambling systems for their own benefit, eventually funneling money to La Cosa Nostra, enriching some of the most notorious crime networks in the world. That ends today, and the FBI's effort to make sure gambling operations of all kind stay within the law are only beginning. Thank you to the outstanding men and women of the FBI who pursued this case and followed the facts accordingly. The NBA placed Billups and Rozier on immediate leave of absence. We are in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today, the league said. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains our top priority. Officials detailed their two operations, Zen Diagram and Nothing But Net, in a press conference in New York. Quote, your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition. You can bet on that. U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nocella, said. Federal authorities launched an investigation dubbed Operation Zen Diagram into a nationwide gambling ring, allegedly involving members of the La Cosa Nostra crime families who allegedly defrauded unwitting victims of millions. Okay, so I don't want to read the whole article because this is a long article, and I do want to give you guys my opinion on this. I personally don't think that this is the backbreaking thing that's going to bring down the NBA. You know, I think a lot of people are going to talk about this, that are talking about this. I think they're kind of blowing things out of proportion from a perspective, right? Like, yeah, this is a bad look. No doubt about it. But, some of the things that Chauncey Billups is being accused of is like poker, like, fixing poker games. And to be honest with you, like, that's not in the NBA's control. It's a bad look because it's an NBA coach doing that. But the main thing that they need to look at is the fact that these are coaches that have information on injuries. This is a player in Terry Rozier that, now with player lines being a part of betting, he can tank his performance and have people bet the under on him and make a bunch of money doing that. That's the stuff that the NBA needs to be concerned about. And that's the stuff that going forward, the NBA needs to take accountability for and needs to put more strict guidelines into it. And I think that personally, when you look at Terry Rozier, and the main thing that I think the NBA needs to be concerned about is the fact that the NBA, according to Brian Windhorst, knew about what was going on with Terry Rozier, and the Miami Heat traded away a first-round pick and Kyle Lowry, a 2027 protected first-round pick, a lottery-protected first-round pick. And if that doesn't convey, that's an unprotected 2028 first-round draft pick. They traded that for Terry Rozier, and the NBA knew about it. That's the thing that the NBA needs to be concerned about. That is an awful look for the league if the NBA knew about this and still allowed a team to trade away a first-round draft pick. Look, I don't necessarily think the Heat have a really bright future. 2028, if that's an unprotected pick, that could be the number one overall pick that they traded away for somebody who was throwing games. That is an awful look for the league. And the Miami Heat, absolutely, there needs to be something that happens to the point where, hey, that first round pick that you traded away, that's our bad. Like, they absolutely should not be on the hook for that first round pick that they traded away, because that is an absolute atrocity. It's shame that the NBA allowed them to do that. Awful that they allowed them to do that. But when it comes to Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, they have access to information that most people don't have access to. And the NBA is going to start putting in more strict guidelines when it comes to injury updates, right? They got more strict with it. Now they're going to get even more strict with it because, coaches across all sports, this isn't just the NBA, across all sports, don't like telling you if a guy's playing or not playing too early, because then the coaches can adjust their game plans to adjust for the fact that a player is playing or a player isn't playing. So they have to create multiple game plans. Okay, if he isn't playing, this is our game plan. If he is playing, this is our game plan. So they don't want other teams knowing that. So they willingly don't update these injury reports because they want to make sure that they keep their cards close to their chest from that perspective. I think the NBA is going to, be a little more strict with that. But I just think that when you talk about gambling, right, I think that this needs to be prosecuted to the furthest extent that the NBA can go towards, right? Like, they need to ban Terry Rozier if he's proven guilty. This is all if he's proven guilty, because right now these are just accusations. It's innocent until proven guilty. The FBI still needs to have their trial. If Terry Rozier is found guilty, if Chauncey Billups is found guilty, if Damon Jones is found guilty, they need to be completely taken out of all NBA operations. Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. He needs to be taken out of the Hall of Fame, because when you undermine the integrity of the game, that is not becoming of somebody who is in the NBA Hall of Fame. And Chauncey Billups was one of my favorite point guards of all time. And hey, maybe he's innocent. I don't know. We still have to wait for all the information to come out, and we still have to wait for, these trials to take place. But if he's proven guilty here, I lose all respect for Chauncey Billups as a player, as a coach, and those memories that I had watching him when I was younger just completely go away. It's one of my favorite players of all time. I loved Chauncey Billups as a player. But this is damning, and this is completely unbecoming of an NBA legend, undermining the integrity of the game. Because at that point, you show me that you don't actually love basketball. You may love basketball, but you don't actually love basketball if you're willing to undermine the integrity of the game. This is, to me, when it comes to sports, we need to protect the sanctity of sports. We need to protect the integrity of sports across every sports league. These fans invest their time, invest their money into these sports leagues, into these sports teams. And if you're telling me that somebody is willingly undermining the integrity of the game, I have zero respect for that person when it comes to them actually as a person and as an athlete, as a coach, as an individual. I lose all respect for them because that is just shameful. That is shameful behavior. And, like I said earlier, like with what's being presented right now when it comes to the league, when it comes to Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones, the NBA can recover from this, right? But from what I've heard across multiple news outlets, that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that something even bigger is coming down the line. Now, that might be something where the integrity of the game is going to be attacked on a big time level. But for right now, this is all accusations. Everybody has their fair day in court. That's the American justice system. Justice is blind. And we'll wait and see what happens. But, when it comes to the La Cosa Nostra, the mafia, I'm cool on talking about that. I'm just going to leave that where it may. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, huge story in the NBA. And wow, what a way to, because I thought the NBA had such a great start to the season. You talk about the Houston Rockets game versus the Thunder going into 2 overtimes. Fantastic game. You have a legitimate star in the making with Victor Wembanyama, who we're going to talk about. It was a great night for the NBA. It was a great first few days for the NBA in the NBA season. And for this to happen, again, it's not going to ruin the NBA. To some people it may, but the game was heading in the right direction, and I still believe it's heading in the right direction. This takes it back a step, though. No doubt about it. Hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far. Please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And also make sure to go check out the other shows on the Kretschman Media Network. On the front page of the CEO Sports Show, we talk about all things regarding sports on this show and plenty of our other shows. So please make sure to go check that out. I would greatly appreciate that. So I want to move on to Victor Wembanyama, and I just want to talk about how great this guy is because he is the next star in the NBA. Victor Wembanyama the other day against the Dallas Mavericks, that I believe is one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, put up 40 points and 15 rebounds on 15 of 21 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and he also had 3 blocks as well. Victor Wembanyama has the potential to be one of the greatest players of all time. I'm not just talking about top 10. I'm talking about top 3 of all time. He has the potential to be in that Jordan and LeBron type of stratosphere. The NBA in the 90s had Jordan. Then in the NBA in the 2000s, they had LeBron James. From 2023 on, that is the Victor Wembanyama era. To me, these guys like Jokic and Giannis, great players, no doubt about it. They are tremendous. The type of potential that Victor Wembanyama has, it's even greater than those guys. Those guys, to me, are very much a guy like Kobe or Dwayne Wade, what they were in the 2010 to what LeBron was, right? LeBron James was the best player in the NBA. Then you had guys like Duncan and Kobe and Dwayne Wade that were fantastic and tremendous players. But there's just levels to it. And when you talk about potential greatest of all time level, the only 2 players to me that are in that tier are LeBron and Jordan. Wembanyama has the potential. He may not reach this potential, but he has the potential to be in that stratosphere. That's the ceiling that he has. He has no ceiling. This guy is what, 7'5"? People say he's taller than 7'5", but he can still play the game like a guard can play the game. Not exactly like a guard, right? Because he still is 7'5". You're always going to have difficulties when it comes to ball handling from that standpoint, right? Like, you're not going to be able to handle the ball like a guard just because center of gravity. That's why, right? But the way he shoots the ball at his height, like when he gets to his spots and he raises up, nobody can guard him. When he gets to a spot and he pulls up for a jump shot, Please tell me who can put their hand in his face and affect that shot. Nobody. It's just impossible. And the touch that Victor Wembanyama has with his shots when it comes to his jump shots and his layups, it's unstoppable. And not only that, he's starting to become stronger. That's what's happening as well. You're starting to see it. He's not ripped, right? He's still growing into his man body. And when we talk about, in football, you talk about when rookies come in, they start to grow into their man body. You're starting to see that with Victor Wembanyama in real time. He's starting to grow into his man body. And holy cow, when he does that, the league better watch out, because he is going to be legitimately unstoppable. Playing for that organization in San Antonio, with what they've done recently with their organization and the franchise-altering moves that they made. Ever since they drafted Wembanyama, they have made so many great moves. You talk about drafting Wembanyama, drafting Stephon Castle, trading for De'Aaron Fox, drafting Devin Harper. Those are 4 franchise-changing moves right there. They're going to win a championship in the Victor Wembanyama era. I don't even think that that's a question, to be honest with you. I think that they're going to win multiple championships with Victor Wembanyama. That's how great he is. That's how great he has the potential to be. He has the potential to be in that greatest of all time conversation. He has to get there. No doubt about it. And that's no disrespect to the great players that are still in this era. Nikola Jokic is great. He's tremendous. Giannis is great. He's tremendous. But what Victor Wembanyama can be, those guys cannot be. God just gifts certain people with traits and athletic gifts that other people can't have. It just is what it is. And here's the thing. Victor Wembanyama is the athletic freak amongst athletic freaks in the NBA. Right? Like, that's how incredible this guy is. And when you talk, it's not just the player that Victor Wembanyama is. It's the person that Victor Wembanyama is. Like, I hate to sound like, and the kids are going to say that I'm glazing, and I'm sorry. Like, it just is what it is. When you talk about somebody being gifted with the athletic gifts that he has, being 7'5" plus and being able to play the game of basketball the way he can play it. Not just that, it's his mindset as well. It's his mindset. This guy isn't somebody that you're going to see at a nightclub on a Friday night. You're not going to see that. I mean, this guy in the offseason was training with monks and getting consultation from Kevin Garnett. I mean, you talk about 2 polar opposites right there. It's the mindset on top of what he can do on the basketball court. God doesn't make very many people like this, but he made Victor Wembanyama, and he is going to be here for a long time, and NBA fans need to embrace it. He's inevitable. This is not a situation where Colin Cowherd said, hey, LeBron, we're good. We got Ben Simmons. It's not like that at all. The NBA has found their Shohei Ohtani. They found their Connor McDavid. They found that in Victor Wembanyama. He is different. He is here to stay. He is inevitable, and so are the Spurs, and they have a chance to win a championship this year because of Victor Wembanyama, because of his greatness. And I can tell you this, the NBA ain't ready for what he's about to do. That's why you saw teams aggressively and blatantly tank for Victor Wembanyama's services, because they knew, no, this guy's different. They don't make people like him. God makes one person like him every lifetime. He's different. He has that potential to be the greatest of all time. Hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far. Please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And also make sure to go check out the other shows on the Kretschman Media Network. On the front page of the CEO Sports Show, we talk about all things regarding sports on this show and plenty of our other shows. So please make sure to go check that out. I would greatly appreciate that. So I want to talk about the Minnesota Vikings and the decision that they made to move on from Sam Darnold. Now, that is not news, right? But I just want to talk about it in retrospective and why it was stupid. I'm going to be honest with you. The Minnesota Vikings moving on from Sam Darnold was stupid. And I don't care what any Vikings fan tries to tell me. No, yeah, did start J.J. McCarthy. You spent a first-round draft pick on him. Okay, you moved on from a quarterback who showed you that he could play at a high level. Last season, he had over 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and led your team to a 14-3 season. If you spent a first-round draft pick on that guy, would you be upset about that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, you'd have to move on from J.J. McCarthy. You'd have to give a quarterback who obviously deserves it a big contract. So what? You move on from J.J. McCarthy, you get a second-round pick, whatever it may be, and you have a franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold, and you are maybe the best team in the NFC. I honestly think that if they would have Sam Darnold as their quarterback, they're the best team in the NFC. Because I think that the Minnesota Vikings have more weapons than the Seattle Seahawks. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And that's respect to the Seattle Seahawks. They have a damn good football team and an offense. But it's not like what they have in Minnesota. And in this NFC, absolutely the Minnesota Vikings, if they had Sam Darnold, would make the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind about that. What a stupid decision moving on from this guy. And you move on from somebody, you move on from a guy who proved to you that he could throw 30 plus touchdowns, throw for 4,300 plus yards, and have 14 wins in a season, lead your team to 14 wins. And you go on to a guy that has proven nothing. Nothing. A guy who was looked at as a project coming into the NFL. Great decision, Vikings. And now you're seeing the result of it. A guy who was injured his rookie season. A guy who's injured right now. Probably an injury-prone quarterback. And this is an organization I hold in very high regard. I think the Vikings are a tremendous organization. They made a stupid decision here. Moving on from a quarterback, as productive as he was for a quarterback who had a season-ending injury his first season, and now is dealing with an injury now. Now you have Carson Wentz as your quarterback, who, by the way, let's just be 100% honest, he's not even a backup quarterback in the league. Carson Wentz is terrible amongst relative to NFL players, because I have to say this now because fans get all in a tizzy when I say that a quarterback is terrible. But amongst NFL quarterbacks, he's terrible. That team that the Minnesota Vikings have and the weapons they have offensively, for Wentz to play the way he has, he's bad. He is awful. He's not even a backup NFL quarterback. He has a great arm. He could throw the ball a mile. He cannot complete a 5-yard. He can't even complete a 5 and out accurately, consistently. He's awful. And the Vikings made their bed, and they have to sleep in it. They have to sleep in the fact that in a weak NFC this year, because that's what it is. While I really like some of these teams, I like the Seahawks, I like the Rams, I like the Lions, I like these teams. But, I mean, this is a winnable conference for a team like Minnesota if they had a quarterback like Sam Darnold back there delivering the rock to Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson. I mean, it's so crazy to me. They won 14 games last year, and they said he's not good enough. Not good enough. We're going to move on to a quarterback who hasn't proven anything in the NFL because we spent a first-round pick on him. Even though if you spent a first-round pick on a quarterback and they gave you 35 touchdowns to 12 interceptions with 4,300 plus yards and lead you to a 14-win season. Yeah, he came up small in the biggest spots last year. Fine. Gotcha. Got it. Noted. You are still making progress as an organization. You moved on from Kirk Cousins, and you had a quarterback. You upgraded a quarterback last year. And then you significantly downgraded. J.J. McCarthy, to me, I think is a guy who's going to continue to struggle with injuries. I don't wish that upon the young man. I don't. But now they're in a situation where they're tied to this guy because they spent a first-round pick on him. And I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people in that Vikings organization that are kicking themselves from moving on from Sam Darnold. Because, I mean, let's look at the Vikings schedule right now. I want to look at this. So they're 3-4 right now. They lost to the Falcons 22-6. I think if they have Sam Darnold only giving up 22 points, they could have won that game. They could have beat the Steelers. They could have beat the Eagles. Yeah. And honestly, like let's be 100% honest here, right? Carson Wentz was god awful. And if they had a quarterback who wasn't god awful, they might have even won that game last night. Like, that's how good Sam Darnold was for the Vikings, and that's how good he's playing right now. That is it. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. He's a 28-year-old quarterback. He obviously made tremendous amount of strides, right? Like, he got coached by Kyle Shanahan. Obviously, he picked up a lot from Kyle Shanahan. Then he got coached by Kevin O'Connell, and it obviously worked. He became the quarterback that we expected him to be coming out of USC. And the Vikings were like, no, we're good. We're going to go on to a guy who coming out of college wasn't nearly the quarterback Sam Darnold was. J.J. McCarthy in Michigan, Sam Darnold at USC, not even remotely close to each other. Like, there's a reason why Sam Darnold was the third overall pick in his draft. He played for bad organizations. And for Kevin O'Connell, and I love Kevin O'Connell, and I don't like criticizing this organization because I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. But I'm going to hold them accountable when they need to be held accountable. I'm going to hold Kevin O'Connell accountable when he needs to be held accountable. Love the guy. Think he's a great coach. Think he's a great person. I don't like criticizing him. But for him to say, quarterbacks don't fail a franchise, franchises fail the quarterbacks, I 100% agree with that. But for him to have the information that he had, knowing that he played for the Panthers and the Jets, and then seeing what he did with the Vikings. If Kevin O'Connell went into the Vikings front office and said, no, we're not moving on from Sam Darnold. I want him here. He's the guy for us. He would still be the quarterback. That's the type of pull that Kevin O'Connell has. But he probably vouched for J.J. McCarthy. That was the wrong decision. And I get what the Vikings are trying to do. They're trying to bring in these reclamation project quarterbacks to be their backup because of what Kevin O'Connell says about franchises don't fail quarterbacks. Quarterbacks fail the franchise. Or I'm sorry. Quarterbacks don't fail franchises. Franchises fail the quarterbacks. And it's absolutely true. And he's probably looking at Carson Wentz. He probably said, that's a reclamation project. I can work with that. But it didn't work this time because Carson Wentz is terrible. He is awful. So, I mean, what are they going to do now? You want to know what? I'm going to say this right now. We're filming this on October 24th, 2025. When the Colts move on from Anthony Richardson, he will be a Minnesota Viking. He will be a Minnesota Viking. How much do you want to expect? How much do you want to bet on that? Because that's what's going to happen. FBI, please don't bring me in. I'm not doing any type of gambling. Okay, I'm not doing it. Please do not bring me in. I'm not letting anybody. I'm not connected to any NFL franchise. I'm not connected to the NFL. I'm just a regular civilian. Please don't bring me in. So yeah, Vikings, just a terrible decision. So that's going to be it for the episode, though, guys. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And please make sure to check out the rest of the shows on the Kretschman Media Network. I love you guys. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys Saturday night for the college football recap. Peace.